Georgia. I'm with Ryan Vaughn. Ryan, how are you?
Good, Dave. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to talk. I've been by this building any number of times, never been in here.
I was glad you could be here with us today, and appreciate the opportunity.
I'm glad too, and it's a beautiful showroom.
Thank you.
I guess the first thing I was interested in is just the Dalton market. I've been around for a long time, and I know that 30 years ago, a completely different situation here in Dalton. Talk about what it's changed into, how it's changed over all those years.
Sure. Dalton used to be more of a destination for people. They would come in with their trailers, and on a Saturday you would have a hard time getting up and down the strip because there'd be so many people coming in and out. It has transitioned to, there are people that still come to Dalton. It's usually more regional people though. Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham, those type travelers. The internet has definitely affected the way people travel, and I think the people that are here in Dalton now have adapted for the most part to that change.
I see.
It's a lot more of electronic communication and telephone than it is the driving, but there's still a lot of business that comes to Dalton, just not in the same means it used to.
How about dealer business? I can remember some of the places up and down the street here. There would be dealers pull up with their trucks and they would load up and go on back. Do they still do that?
They do. Again, it's changed a little bit. With technology, you can take a picture and send it, and it's pretty good quality, and so somebody doesn't have to drive here as much. But
Okay.
you still, on a daily and weekly basis, get dealers into Dalton looking for products.
You still do the dealer business, it's
Just a little
you don't
different.
need to do it face-to-face anymore.
Not as much, though.
I gotcha. What about the number of retail players, retail/wholesale players in Dalton? That has to have diminished greatly.
I'd say since 2007, it's probably in half, maybe
Really?
more. Yes.
Interesting. Now, tell us about the Georgia Carpet Industries. We're on Connector 3, which
Yes,
is
sir.
the place. You have actually 3 stores here.
Yes, sir, we do. We have 2 on North Degap Road and 1 on Lower Degap Road. Our main showroom is on Lower Degap Road, and our other 2 are just outlets or overflow stores. We carry some rugs in one of them, and we carry off goods in the other one. In our main showroom, we carry all running line, first quality products.
Nice. When a consumer comes to Dalton, do they do so because they're looking for price? Is that the prime reason, or do they have other things in mind?
Price is definitely the first reason. Just like with any shopping experience, price is the main factor. But variety and inventory on hand. You know, a lot of people want to, when they come to Dalton, they want to buy it and they want to take it with them.
Oh, gotcha.
They don't want to wait. I mean, we are a very needy, or we want to have the product right then.
Now, yeah.
And Dalton provides that for a lot of people. There's not a lot of places you can go to in this country where you can buy flooring and take it with you that day.
That's for
But
sure.
in Dalton, you can still do that.
Now this is a big building, and like you say, you've got 2 more right down the street. Talk about the square footage that you have here, showroom and
Sure.
warehouse.
We have about a 15,000 foot showroom in our main building, and we have a 60,000 square foot warehouse for our main building. In total, we're close to 250,000 square feet in overall warehouse space. So we're able to stock a lot of inventory.
I should say. Now, people came here. We talked about the old days. People would come here primarily for carpet. They know
yes.
Dalton is where carpet is made. What about hard surface? Do they now come here for hard surface as well as carpet?
They do. Hard surface really became big in Dalton with off goods. A lot of the manufacturers used Dalton at first as a place to get rid of their off goods. It has transitioned more to first quality business in the past few years as the business environment has gotten tighter and off goods have changed in the hard surface products. But it's definitely a destination for hard surface now.
I see.
A lot of people stock just as much hard surface as they do soft surface.
And they don't just think of Dalton as the carpet capital anymore. It's a floor covering capital, I guess.
I would think so.
Well, obviously, you have probably, looking around this showroom, more hard surface in here than you do carpet.
We
I
do.
would almost say.
Yeah. Well, in our showroom, we definitely do.
I see. The customers that come in here, you mentioned they're more regional maybe than used to be. Talk about that a little bit.
The people that actually travel to our area or to our store, they are Birmingham, Atlanta, Nashville. They're fairly educated on their products they're looking for. You know, they've done their research. They've been online. They've been to other stores. They found products that they like. A lot of times they'll bring in samples of something they like, and they want to either match or meet that product. And luckily, with all the inventory that we do have, we're able to offer them a product that's the same product or similar product at a reasonable discount. You know, they come here to save money, and for the most part, we save people a lot of money.
Are they, and that's why they come here.
Yes.
Are they on their way someplace? Are they going to Florida to sit in the sun and they stop here, or do they come here specifically to buy floor covering?
The regional people come here specifically to buy floor covering. Now, the people from up north, we have a lot of traffic from like Ohio, New York, Northeast area coming down. They're going down to their home in Florida. They're going on vacation, and they see all the stores, or they've heard about Dalton, and they stop by just to see. And a lot of times they'll stop on their way down and stop on their way back, and you know, they'll make a purchase. Yeah.
Now, the shipping part of it, is that something that they have their heads around in the beginning? I'm sure you have to educate a lot of people as to shipping, what's involved, what are the costs, what happens when it gets to to their city. What happens in that area?
Shipping is a little tricky, especially for roll goods, because the truck lines do not take it off the product off the truck, so the customer has to take it off the truck. But as long as it's explained to the customer up front, they know all they're expected of them, then it's usually not an issue at all. We are able to save them so much money
that's not a problem.
It's not a factor in the decision buying.
Do they usually get the installer to do that?
Usually they'll have the installer meet them at their home or go to the terminal to pick it up out of the terminal. It works a lot better that way.
But they don't drop it off in their front yard usually.
No, but they have done it before.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah. A lot of people will take it off in their driveway, put it in their garage, or the installer will take it right off the truck onto the driveway, cut it, and put it in the house.
I see. And they know that at the front end, and obviously that's not a problem, or they wouldn't buy the carpet.
Right. Every now and then you'll get a customer who wasn't paying attention or didn't understand exactly what the salesperson was saying, and they'll get a roll of carpet up there and they'll call and say, "Hey, how am I supposed to get this off the truck?" But that's very rare. But it happens. I mean, just like with anything else, miscommunication is a big factor when you have a problem.
Very interesting. Now, as you mentioned, electronics have come into Dalton 15, 20 years ago. A lot of people sold through 800 numbers, ads in the backs of magazines and so on. A lot of business that way. That's just transitioned in totally to internet at this point.
For the most part, yes. I mean, I think you'll find a few people still do a shelter magazine here and there. A little print might take place, but for the most part, the internet is the easiest means of advertising to outside this area.
How would you break down, say, online versus in-store business at this operation?
It's a little bit harder to just say this is online and this is not online, because of the flooring still needs some personal communication, as far as a phone call needs to be made or a lot of emails need to transpire because of the difficulty in the measurements. If it's roll goods, specifically because of the 12-foot wide. So there's still a lot of communication that needs to take place, especially in carpet. So and we don't have a shopping cart per se on our website, so it's hard to say how much is exactly from the internet, but I would say a good 30 to 40% of our business is internet driven.
Okay, and this would be, as you say, somebody found you on the internet, but you basically did everything over the telephone.
Yes.
Okay, and that's about 40% of the business.
30 to 40% of the business.
Do you see that increasing?
Of course.
Going forward?
The internet continues to grow. More and more people get it in their homes, on their smartphones. It's definitely going that way. I mean, if you don't have to spend the money to drive somewhere and you can just pull it up on your phone or pull it up on your computer at home, it makes it a whole lot easier to shop.
Very interesting. Now, consumers that walk in here, are you just about, I mean, do you see what you do as pretty much what every retailer around the country does? Is it the same situation when a customer walks in your door, or because you're in Dalton, is it different?
I think it's a little bit different in Dalton. I try to equate it to like people that used to go to Hickory, North Carolina to buy furniture. You know, they wanted that $1,000 couch for $500. Well, people come to Dalton with expectations of they want that $40 Stainmaster that they found at Home Depot, and they want to pay $10 for it. You know, so sometimes it is educating the consumer on what they're purchasing, and getting past some of the things that they've learned already from like a Home Depot or Lowe's, that we want to make sure we're dealing with apples to apples. And sometimes when they've been in other places, especially outside of Dalton, they don't have what they need to buy.
Yeah.
They're getting sold something that they don't really need. So we try to get them the price that they need and not oversell them.
Now, I have to imagine with so many stores up and down the street and somebody driving, say, from Nashville, they've done some shopping in Nashville. More than likely, they've done some shopping here on this street. Is that the situation with most?
It is. It's a lot of friendly competition. For the most part, we are friendly competitors here. I mean, we all know each other. We've all grown up with each other. So we consider it friendly competition, and the good thing is we all kind of have our specialties. You know, we're all good at certain things. So we're not butting heads on a day-to-day basis with consumers up and down the street. You know, if another store up the street has a product, we usually don't have that same product. We'll have an alternative to that product. So we're not, it makes it a little bit easier than what you would think.
Is that because of the suppliers? They want to limit who has what, or if not, what?
Some of it might be suppliers, but for the most part, we all know what the other one sells at.
So you try not to have that?
Yeah, and we don't want to have a Me Too product. We want to differentiate ourselves from that, you know, our competitors. We want to have a different product.
I've got
that just offers the consumer more options, really. And that's the good thing about Dalton. Like I said, we are friendly competitors, and you know, if someone is really good at one thing, we're not going to go try to step on their toes, and we're going to worry about what we can do best. And that's what we try to focus on.